Good morning, Your Highness.
We've selected for you a very fine wife.
So, what kind of music do you like?
Whatever kind of music you like.
Do you have a favorite food?
Whatever food you like.
Fine girl, isn't she?
Why can't I find my own wife?
I want a woman that's going to arouse my intellect as well as my loins.
Where will you find such a woman?
Queens. No one here can know I am royalty. You must appear to be no different than the average man.
I will not say a word.
We require a room that is very poor.
Damn shame what they did to that dog.
We will take the room.
Good morning, my neighbors!
First stop New York City. All the girls are pretty.
I am Akeem.
It's nice to meet you, Akeem.
What are you going to do, mop your way into her heart?
We got an extra ticket for the game tomorrow. Wanna come?
Yes.
I have a date. Isn't that wonderful?
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Check the chocolate.
Hey, good.
Oh my goodness. It is you.
This is the greatest day of my life.
It was very nice meeting you two.
Who was that?
Just the man I met in the restroom.
Hello and welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch Spoilercast for the original 1988 Eddie Murphy film Coming to America, not to be confused with the soon-to-be-released sequel, Coming to America. I'm actually hopefully joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Happy to be here, coming straight from Tasmania. You know?
Oh! It fits rhyming-wise, kind of.
Boom. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Alright, please be aware that we will be freely discussing anything and everything about the plot, themes, and ending of the film, so if you haven't watched it, come back later. So with that said, let's jump to our discussion of Coming to America, directed by John Landis, screenplay by David Sheffield, and Barry W. Blaustein, story by Eddie Murphy, starring Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James L. Jones, John Amos, Madge Sinclair, and Shari Headley. On his 21st birthday, African Prince Akeem has to marry a woman he has never seen. Determined to break tradition, he goes to America to look for one he can truly love and respect. So Dylan, what did you think of Coming to America? I'm assuming you've seen this before, unlike me.
Oh, well, yeah, that was my first question was, have you seen this before? But that answers that. Yeah, I've seen this, I don't know, 3 or 4. This is probably my 3rd or 4th time. My dad really liked it, so I had to watch it. Alongside Trading Places, which, have you seen Trading Places? No.
Shaking
so yeah,
head,
no. There's a joke in there's a
Trading
Easter egg in this
Places
movie.
too?
No, there's a joke in this movie that I'll get to later that would have gone completely over your head. Anyway, but no, I always enjoyed it when I was a kid. I guess I hadn't watched it for many years, so of course I was doing that thing coming into this, going like, all right, 80s comedy. Is it gonna be watchable? Is it gonna be too politically incorrect? Like how and for the most part, I'd say it's pretty good.
Pretty
like
fine.
It's pretty fine. I did wonder though, I guess, after finishing the movie, I was like, is this movie offensive to anyone? Because it's not offensive to me, but I did wonder how people felt about it. I could only find like a couple articles where, some people talked about it and like, oh, I'm from, so and so. Like people, it basically, from what I gathered, it seems like often, like people in America who were born in America weren't really offended by it because whereas people who grew up and then moved to America, they found some of the stereotypes a little bit grating or offensive to a degree. But that's just something I was wondering because obviously I don't know. So, but other than that, no, I think a lot of it holds up. It's quite funny. It's in this period of time where Eddie Murphy used to make good movies, and then he he kind of stopped to a degree. And I've always enjoyed, well, apart from like the Nutty Professors, which I actually don't like, and everyone rides them. I've always enjoyed how Eddie Murphy would play 16 roles in a lot of these older movies he used to do, and I always thought that was kind of fun until you get to the Nutty Professor stage where it's just kind of ridiculous. But in this one, it's a lot of fun, and obviously, what's his name? The other dude, the co-star, I can't remember. Arsenio. Yes. I'm surprised. I was surprised he never, appeared in more. Yeah, I know. Like he's not really in that many movies, and he's a standout in this movie as well. James L. Jones is great in this movie. Just being James Earl Jones, I guess. But but no, it's a lot of fun. My one big criticism that I guess I would give it was I think the ending is kind of shit. It kind of is, and you can tell the movie's written like a lot of comedies, I guess, where it's like joke bit, like, and then more like build the story around it, and then they build this romance story, which a lot of comedies still have, I guess, but especially in the 80s, a lot of them had very similar plot lines. But the way it kind of just ends, and then it's like, oh, a fake reveal, the happily ever after music credits. And I was like, I don't know if I like that. I would have rather have them had a moment, had the conversation with the dad, had the drama, get to the scene, and then you transition to them actually getting married. Like the whole like surprise, it's her. I'm like, don't really like that. I feel like that could have been done better well, but no, good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was surprised at how well it's held up. A really enjoyable film. Obviously, Eddie Murphy is really good. Interesting. The thing that struck me was like, oh wow, this is like at the start, it's like an 80s version of Black Panther almost at the start. I
forgot how long that scene is. By the way, how long? Yeah. It's like nearly 20 minutes before they leave to come to America, which is in the fucking title. So
yeah, so I couldn't help but think of Black Panther when I was watching this. Obviously, very much similar themes, you know, or at least like kind of an African prince with a Judy and stuff. But you know, yeah, really enjoyable, great bits. I didn't click until much later on that Eddie Murphy was dressed up as multiple of the barbershop guys.
Really, it's come off him as super noticeable. Like
I just thought it was weird, like a weird looking dude.
Okay. Have you watched many Eddie like old?
I've watched like The Nutty Professor and stuff, but that's
okay.
Yeah, so clearly this is where it started.
Yeah. Like Nutty Professor was the culmination of
everything.
This. Yeah,
and then Nutty Professor 2 was the downfall of this.
And then Adam Sandler decided he would keep going with that whole thing. So
yeah, and the Big Mama's House, and yeah, it started a whole genre really when you think about it. Unfortunately, but yeah, the other thing I didn't click onto until much later, very slowly, was the restaurant. I just assumed it was a knockoff because they couldn't get McDonald's in the movie, but no, he's just stealing from McDonald's the plans for McDonald's the entire movie. Which I thought
that's the joke. That's the. I mean, that's
no. I thought it was like, you know how sometimes they've got like fake name stuff because they can't get the rights. I thought it was just that, but no, it's an actual joke.
He's straight up stealing.
Yeah, like, straight up stealing the IP.
He's like, they have the golden arches, I have the golden whatever it is. And then like when he's walking through the restaurant, he's like, they have the Big Mac, I have the, you know, like it's something so subtle. It's like, I have the large Mac, or you know, it's these little changes to everything. He's like, they have the secret sauce, I have the secretive sauce. You know, it's all the same bullshit. Yeah, which is funny.
But yeah, really enjoyable. Obviously, Eddie Murphy's great. Arsenio Hall, very good. I enjoyed. You know, I agree with you. The ending didn't really work because I couldn't really believe that you would come back. You know, it
was more that I don't know how the dad changes on a whim like that either. It's just like, no, he can't marry her. Then he gets in the car and Eddie Murphy's
there should have been like a scene of him back in Tawali or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's just like it's so funny,
and
it's so weird because they spend the first 20 minutes of the movie not in a rush to get anywhere, and then it feels like the last 5 minutes they're like, oh fuck, we
need to hurry up.
We're running out of film over here or something like that. You know, like we can't have one more scene to kind of land this ending.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't realize it was like a thing that black fathers make their daughters date rich guys. That's a weird stereotype, so I guess.
I think that's just a stereotype. That's just a not general stereotype, isn't it? Like the, you know,
I don't know. Yeah,
marry into a rich family.
Well, I guess some people, but like kind of coordinating.
Yeah,
straight up announcing your engagement without asking the actual person.
I've seen that in a lot of 80s movies for some reason. Yeah. Maybe it's a New Yorker thing.
Maybe.
Maybe that's the. Maybe
That's the
the
through
connection.
line as to why they're abducting these women into.
By the way, I was just looking up because I was wondering as we're speaking. So this was officially the first time that Eddie Murphy played multiple characters in one of his movies, which then went on to become one of his
A running thing in
trademark.
his career.
Yeah, like one of his things. So yeah, that's the first of this and probably one of the better times. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Um,
I mean, obviously they're just talking shit, I guess. So, I mean, the guys in the barbershop, it's nothing.
Some of those conversations are pretty funny.
Yeah.
Actually, the Cassius Clay one.
And he's a soul singer as well.
Yeah, he's what's her face plays a couple of characters too.
Yeah, Arsenio Hall,
yeah, Arsenio Hall. He plays maybe just as many. Yeah, no, the thing I was going to say, the funny bit of trivia that always stands about this movie. This blew my mind when I was a kid. So, in Trading Places, which Eddie Murphy's also in, also directed by John Landis. That film is about these two people who make a bet, rich people who basically make a bet that this poor dude, Eddie Murphy's character, can't like make it in the world, their rich world. Anyway, long story short, of course, Eddie Murphy's character wins the day at the end, and you know the two rich people who kind of bet against him, they end up losing everything they've got and end up at the end of that movie becoming two homeless people. So in the scene in this movie, and for people who know this movie, I'm pointing it out, they're like, this is general knowledge. I'm like, come on. But Ash doesn't know. For the scene where Eddie Murphy's character in this film, Akeem, where he walks past those two homeless dudes and he gives them a bag of money. And then for some reason, the camera's like, we're going to spend a whole 2-minute scene with these two as they discuss it. And they pull out the money and they're like, oh, we're back. That's because it's the two characters from Trading Places. So this blew my mind when I was younger because, you know, it's weird to think about now. We have all these connected movies and stuff. But when I was like 12 or whatever, the first time I watched this, the fact that these two movies, like connected universe, or, you know, like some weird details, like, oh my God, that's how cool is that? Funny, the John Landis universe over here is being built up or something.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about the sequel coming out? Well, day of release of this. Are you excited? Are you optimistic? Or is it bizarre that they've...
I think it's bizarre.
Going back to this property.
Solely because, so the description for it is, the African monarch, Akeem, learns that he has a long-lost son in the United States and must return to America to meet this unexpected heir and build a relationship with his son. So that plot is the most stereotypical, boring movie setup for a sequel. Like, they literally did this with, like, Dumb and Dumber. You know what I mean? Like, they always do this same fucking plot line where they're like, how do we make a sequel? Long lost family. You know, oh, he had a son and you didn't know. Like, it's such a stupid trope.
But how?
I don't know
how does he have a son?
I don't know how.
We just watched that movie. Do you know?
It's like
there was no other women.
No, I understand that they're probably just like, the setup doesn't matter because they would have spent most of their time writing on the jokes that happen in the movie, and that's going to be the, you know, if is it good or not is going to lie on the actual jokes less so than the story. Because if it was rating Coming to America 1, it's so weird to say. If it was going to rate the original movie on its story, would just be giving it a lot lower score because, as we're saying, the ending kind of falls apart. They don't spend enough time in the dramatic moments when they should have been. All this sort of stuff. It's a comedy. It's focused on tone of comedy. But I'm just like, can you not think of something slightly more original, different, just something that even, I don't know. It's just kind of a bullshit setup to me. So I'm mildly interested solely because I think I'll be judging. If this is at least a 6, I'll be happy, or I'll take that as a win, because often I feel like I haven't had too much success for any of these comedies in the last 5-6 years, whatever it is, where they're like, we're doing another one after 10, 20, 30 years of not doing one or whatever. But if this one's okay, maybe that stupid sounding Triplets will be okay too. I don't, I feel like I have to, they're both such random sequels to be making, as Eddie Murphy's like, I'm running out of money. I gotta go back to work or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean, Eddie Murphy obviously is having a bit of a career resurgence. You know, Dolomite. My Name is Dolomite did very well critically. kind of thing. But you know, I'm reluctant to. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good, but you know, we'll wait and see. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about Coming to America? Either film. It really should have been Coming Back to America.
Yeah,
the title.
They did again. They went for the fucking corny ass thing. No, I don't. Yeah, not really. I think it's a funny movie. I definitely think it's interesting that we've got this suddenly resurgence of returning to the well of these late 80s, early 90s comedies. And I guess most of the time we find that maybe the things that made, I guess maybe there's a chance for the sequel to this being better because, as we just said, most of the jokes in this still hold up. They're not like if you go watch some of the other comedies, you're like, a lot of the jokes don't really hold up. Either they're not funny anymore.
Yeah.
They're highly
I was surprised
offensive
it wasn't
now.
like super racist or like, well, not super racist, but it's something that wouldn't play as well or something misogynistic. But
or and there really isn't, and I guess that's kind of what makes me think maybe the sequel has a better chance. Because if we watch this, and I rewatch, if I had to rewatch this for this podcast and gone, you know, it's one of those movies that I found a lot funnier 10 years ago or whatever, doesn't give me much hope for the sequel. But given the base of this house, the Coming to America house, isn't actually tainted really.
No,
maybe the sequel will be okay. You know, it's like it's not a comedy built on the original running off like homophobic or whatever else jokes. Which I mean, I keep bringing up only because you can't go back and watch all of these older comedies without going, like being a little bit scared because you want them to still be funny, especially if you've watched them before. And I'm like,
yeah,
is it? But you never really remember. You're like, I found this funny, but never. But I'm not going to remember if any of the jokes were out poor taste now or whatever. So, no, it was good.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us know what you thought of Coming to America, or what you are expecting from Coming to America, or what you want to hear us do a spoilercast for by going to explosioneric.com/Twitter to let us know what you thought on Twitter, or you can join our Discord by heading to explosioneric.com/Discord. Leave us a review either on Twitter, Apple Podcasts, or Podchaser. And if you like this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosioneric.com/support and buy us a coffee. Helps keeps all the servers running here at explosioneric.com. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
You know, you can be all the things you've always wanted to be. Beautiful, sexy, easy as 1, 2, 3.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby, feel it.